So again, it's just been revealed today that Russian and Syrian forces worked together in bringing home the body of Sergeant Zachary Baumel 37 years after he was first reported missing. And this just as Prime Minister Netanyahu arrived in Russia for meetings with President Putin. Well, joining us now in the studio for more on this historic occasion is Zeev Levin, the head of the Central Eurasian Research Unit at the Harry S. Truman Institute of the Hebrew University. Zeev, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting.
Okay, so what can you tell us? Maybe what is the biggest message that we can gather maybe from this reveal, from this return of this body? Because is this an improvement between Israel and Syria in such a way? Is this an improvement between just Israel and Russia? Is this purely political for ahead of the elections?
Yeah. Well, I could say easily that it could be all of the above. But first of all, I think it's quite a great message of a great relations, a great cooperation relations we have with Russian administration, personally between Benjamin Netanyahu and Putin. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 13th visit of Prime Minister Netanyahu to Moscow, meeting Putin. I don't think that in those 3 years of this count, there was any other leader of any other nation, closer or farther, that visited the Kremlin that much. And this points exactly on the very specific interests that our countries share. We share mutual interests, and at the same time we have mutual problems that are still not resolved. Quite a big problem, specifically in Syrian grounds.
Sure. With respect to the
our
activities,
our how to say, free military activities over Syrian skies and on the ground, that is not seen by the Russians.
Or perhaps simply allowed by the Russians.
Well, the point is that at this point, it seems that they have nothing to do about them. And Israel, although claiming that responding and sending messages in advance to the Russian administration and to the military about the strikes, those strikes are not corresponding with Russian interests on ground with Syria, involve them with lots of problems with the Iranians, with the Syrians, with other forces present, and show once again that their capabilities, military might of Russian missiles are not that serious that they were as they wanted to show, because although they are operated by Syrian army personnel, still they are not capable of doing anything, as it seems from the only last week's events that apparently, I don't know, again, Israel didn't take responsibility for those, but there were many occasions where Israel took responsibility for strikes, and the ground missiles, Russian missiles, didn't do anything about it.
Well, you mentioned also a moment ago about how you don't think that there's ever been really maybe a better relationship between Putin and another country than with Israel.
Yeah.
Do you think that that kind of relationship might continue without Netanyahu? Should Gantz be elected, or anybody else rather?
Well, I think as any relationships, they are bilateral. So, in this tango, Russia has also quite a big interest of showing respect to Netanyahu or to Israel, because I think in this framework, Israel is maybe the only Western country that pay respect to Putin. Well, many others embargo him because due to the invasion to Crimea.
Right. All right. Well, we hope that the relations continue. Good relations anywhere are, I think, good relations.
Again, there are mutual interests. There are mutual problems. There are problems that not resolved, not at any of the events, but still the dialogue is open, and the recent events of showing of, again, quite spectacular of Russian troops going and digging graves in Syria for Israel, it's something that is quite incredible.
All right, Zeev Levin, thank you so much for joining us again today.